Now, when we measure the mass of one atom, what do we measure in? In atomic mass units, which means for one single atom, atomic mass units. That's the mass of one single atom. Yes. You give what? You give? It's in the next page. You see that? Did everybody turn their page around and did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay. So that first sheet is extra practice for nomenclature. Alright? You can go home and do that for homework. Is that understood? So this is the second page. Now, instead of one atom, if you take 1 mole atom, what does that mass mu change to? It changes to grams. Are we good? So now, I need a student volunteer, or let me do this. We did this in a prior unit. If we have an element, are you all listening? Like the element argon that is given here. So what do? We go to the periodic table. What is the mass for argon written as? 39.948. Yes or no? We're going to report it as 39.95. 2 numbers past the decimal, and it is so many grams per mole. Do we understand this? This is the molar mass of an element off of the periodic table. 2 numbers past the decimal. We will round if it is necessary. Did we locate argon? 18, atomic number 18. Did we locate it? All right. The next substance is a compound. It's not an element anymore. It is a compound. And the given compound is sodium chloride. What is the charge on sodium? Sodium is a plus 1. What is the charge on chlorine? Negative 1. So what is my formula for sodium chloride? NaCl. Write that on the side. So you will be given the name, you will be expected to write the formula on your own. Do you understand? Given that this is the formula for sodium chloride, in order to calculate the mass of a compound, I will first list the elements. What are the elements that make up this compound? Sodium and chlorine. Write that one beneath the other. Write sodium and then write chlorine underneath it. How many atoms of sodium do I have when I look at the formula? 1. How many atoms of chlorine do I have? 1. What is the next step? I will go to the periodic table and I will look up the mass of sodium off of the periodic table. Which student will volunteer and tell me what is the mass of sodium off of the periodic table? 2 numbers past the decimal. Justin. 22 point. Are you sure? No. What is the number given as? I see it as 22.989. So if I round, what will it become? 22.99. So this is 22.99. Now everybody needs a calculator for this unit. If you do not have a calculator, please come borrow a calculator from my table. And please take one more and give it to somebody else who needs it at your table. Everybody needs a calculator. Miss Meyer, do you need? Miss Meyer may have one more calculator. One more here. You can borrow one from Miss Meyer also if you don't have one. Does everybody have a calculator? All right. I need the mass of chlorine, 2 numbers past the decimal. Can somebody give it to me? Victoria, what's the mass of chlorine, 2 numbers past the decimal?
2.
Chlorine. Give me the mass of chlorine. Yes.
Oh, it's. So what was the question?
What are we doing, Victoria?
35.45.
Okay, 35.45. So my next step is to multiply by the number of atoms. But there is only one of each. Is that right? So the number is not going to change. Yes or no? It's going to remain 22.99, and that's going to remain 35.45. What do you think I should do with these two numbers at the end? Add them up. And when I add them up, what does my answer turn out to become? 58.44 grams per mole is the molar mass of sodium chloride. Did you understand how to calculate that? Can you students go ahead and write the formula of magnesium sulfide? What is the charge on magnesium? What is the charge on sulfur? Get that from the periodic table. What is the charge on magnesium? What is the charge on sulfur? What is the formula of magnesium sulfide? Can somebody give me, is Daniel on his phone? Daniel, I'll give you permission. Go to the library, go sit down and use your phone. You don't have to be in my class. No, you don't have to become sneaky about it. The whole 90 minutes you can go look at your phone. Is there some pleasure in trying to sneak out in front of a teacher? I'll give you permission, Daniel. Are you being smart because you're being sneaky? Can someone give me the formula of magnesium sulfide? Anybody who has done it? MgS, very good, because magnesium was a +2 and sulfur was a -2. Is that right? Did they cancel each other? Did you get that? Okay, so magnesium sulfide has how many magnesium atoms and how many sulfur atoms? 1 magnesium and 1 sulfur, right? 1 magnesium, 1 sulfur. What is my next step? Multiply by what? The mass of what? First, what is the mass of magnesium from the periodic table? 2 numbers past the decimal. How will it round? 24.31. What will sulfur be? 32.06.
Do you not round the second number?
Which one?
Do you not round the second? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the place where we round to. Doesn't your periodic table just say 32.06?
Yeah, but you rounded the first one.
Because there was one more number past it. Didn't it say 24.305? The 5 will make a 0 or 1. Are we good?
Yeah.
So then, again, it's multiplied only by 1. So it becomes 24.31, 32.06. And what do you do with these numbers? Add them up. And what does that become? 56.37 grams per mole is the molar mass of magnesium sulfide. I need you to go write the charge of calcium, the charge of phosphorus, and get the formula for calcium phosphide. Daniel, you know how to write the charge? Do you need a writing utensil? You have a pencil? Do you know to look up charge and write charges? Write the charge of calcium and write the charge of phosphorus and tell me what will the final formula be.
What is phosphorus?
Phosphorus atomic number 15. Can somebody tell me what the formula is? Yes, Aljo. What did you get as the charge for calcium?
The charge of calcium is +2.
Calcium is +2. What did you get for phosphorus?
-3.
-3. Well, they don't cancel. So what do you multiply each one by?
You multiply the 2 by 3
Uh-huh.
and the 3 by 2.
Very good. You multiply the 2 by a 3 and the 3 by a 2. And what does the final formula become then?
Ca3,
Ca3P2. Did you all get this? All right. So now I'm going to calculate the molar mass. What are the elements that make it? Calcium and phosphorus. How many atoms of calcium do I have? 3. How many atoms of phosphorus do I have? 2. What is my next step? Multiply by mass. What is the mass of calcium off of the periodic table? 40.08. What is the mass of phosphorus off of the periodic table? 30.97. And now I multiply. What is 40.08 times 3? 122? 120 or 1.2? 120. Do that again. Do 40.08 times 3. Make sure you're putting numbers correctly into the calculator. .08, not 40.8. 40.08. You're missing out the 0. What is the answer? 120.24. What is the number for the next one? 61.94. What do I do with these two numbers now? Add them up. And what do you get? Is that right? Did I add up correctly? This is so many grams per mole. Do we understand how to calculate molar mass of a compound? How to write its formula and calculate its mass? Do we understand the steps? Okay, let's move on.
Wait, hold on 1 second.
You can add, you know how to add. All right? Who can tell me what are the elements in this compound, in this first compound? What are the elements? One kid put up their hand and then help me out. What are the elements? I need a hand up. Yes, Mac? Potassium, manganese, oxygen. What is my next step in order to calculate molar mass? What is the next thing I do? Put up your hand and tell me what is the next thing I need to do. I don't want the same hands up every time. I need participation. Can somebody tell me what I'm supposed to do next? Christina, what do I do next? How many atoms? Okay. Let her do it. Yes.
1 for potassium. I don't know how many for.
What is written here as you see it here?
4
For what?
oxygen.
For oxygen. How many for manganese?
7.
Is it written 7 underneath manganese? How many numbers are written under manganese?
None.
None. So none was written under potassium, and you saw all that one. How many manganese will you call it? One. All right. What is the next step? For 2, what do I do? If you're not going to work and you're going to drag it, I'm not going to do it. I taught you how to do it. You know what? I'll put my pencil down. You calculate the molar mass and tell me what the final answer is.
Actually, Ms.Geeta, I would like everybody who has 1 or 2 earbuds in the ear, take it out right now. Take it out. And keep it out.
You know, Daniel is just sitting here, shaking his leg, nothing, no pencil. Daniel, can I give you permission to go see a counselor or sit somewhere else? If I don't see you work, I'm going to turn in an administrative referral. Do you hear me? You either get, do you need a pencil? You don't understand, it's such a privilege to be in a classroom and get an education. Do you know the number of students who died for this? They don't have a proper classroom, they don't have a proper teacher, they can't get an education to improve themselves. Do you know the number of countries that are like that? You get everything that you need, and yet you refuse to work. Someone tell me what's the mass of potassium? Yes, Toad, what is it?
39.10.
39.10. Someone tell me what's the mass of manganese? Kyle?
54.93.
54.93. Can someone help me with the mass of oxygen? Yes, Justin. 16. Yes.
Round up to 54.94.
Manganese, yes, mine rounds up to 54.94. Is that right? Everybody got that? That's correct, 54.94. What is my next step? Multiply. Daniel, I told you, you're provided a calculator, you're provided a periodic table. Here, let me give you a pencil. I don't know if you have a pencil. That's the last thing I'm going to give you. If I don't see you work, if I just see to see they're simply sitting, then I'm going to do what I need to do. Okay, you have a pencil. All right. What is 16 times 4 is 64? Is that right? Has anybody added up the 3? Justin, what answer do you have? 158.04 grams per mole. Everybody good with the molar mass? Everybody good so far? But we are not going to do molar mass. What are we doing? What are we doing here in this? We are doing percent composition. What is percent composition? As the formula says, what is it? It's part by whole times 100. Is everybody good? It's mad. Lucy's not feeling well. Lucy, you have your head down. You're not feeling well. Huh? You have a headache? Okay, it's part by whole times 100. Does everybody understand that? What is the part? This is the part. Are you understanding? What is the whole? That is the whole. What is this? This is the whole always. Are you with me? So I need to find percent of potassium. Are you understanding? How am I going to do that? That is 39.10. Did we have that for potassium? Divided by, what is my whole? 158.04 times 100. Do you know how to do this on your calculator? Can you plug those numbers into your calculator and tell me what the percent of potassium is. I took 39.10, divided it by 158.04 times 100. Yes, 24.74%. Are we good? Let's do the next one. Who can tell me how will I find the percent of manganese? What should I divide by what? Any student, Victoria, what do I do? 54.94 times 100. And what do you get as your answer, Victoria? Mm-hmm.
$34.76.
34.76%. Daniel, how do I calculate the percent of oxygen? You don't know. Okay. Bass, how do I calculate the percent of oxygen?
So 60.00 divided by
64.00 divided by
158.04
times 100. And what is your final answer?
um,
40.50? 0%. What do you think all these percents will add up to? What do my students think? 100. All right? So let's skip the next one, or maybe let's flip over to the next side. You want to flip over to the next side, please? And so make these corrections. In calcium hydride, strike off oxygen. You're not, do you see number 3, calcium hydride? So strike off the oxygen in that. So I didn't edit this completely. In manganese nitride, strike off the last one. And in vanadium 3 carbide, strike off this and this. So you'll have only vanadium and carbon. Are we good? Can somebody help me with the charge on vanadium from this compound? What is the charge? 3 plus 3. What is the charge on carbon? Will we take the positive or the negative 4? Negative 4. So they don't cancel each other. So what do I multiply them by? 4 and 3. So what is my formula for vanadium carbide? V4C3. Is that correct? You're going to do one more example of percent composition. Are we good? What is the number of vanadium atoms here? 4. Number of carbon? 3. What is my next step? By the mass. Who can tell me what the mass of vanadium is? Yes? 50.94. And what is the mass of carbon? Yes?
12.01.
12.01. Go ahead, multiply, add, find the molar mass, and find the percent of vanadium and the percent of carbon in the compound. Find the percent of vanadium, percent of carbon. You have that for prototyping testing? So how do you find percent? You do for the molar mass looks great. Now find the percent of each. So how do you find percent? It's part by 4 times 100. Do that for each element.
So I already found the one for carbon.
Okay, you found one for carbon, now find one for vanadium.
Okay.
Okay? So percent composition is part by 4 times 100. Can I get an answer? Nancy, what is your answer for vanadium? 84.97%. And what do you have for carbon? 15.03%. Is everybody getting this? What did you get, Alto?
That around the 84.97, it's 84.98.
Well, 97, it adds up right now, Nancy. I mean, Alto. 7 plus 3 is 10, 10. It adds up. It's fine. Okay? Are we good? Everybody understand? Are you getting this answer? So you know how to write formulas. Is that right? You know how to calculate molar mass. Is that right? From molar mass, you know to find percent composition. Are we good? Okay. We're going to move on and we're going to do mole conversions. What are we going to do? Mole conversions. Now we have done this before, but we have done it for an element. Are you with me? Now we are going to do it for a compound. Now what is the monkey in the middle? The monkey in the middle is always the mole. What is the monkey in the middle? Mole. On one side, you can convert it to grams. Are you with me? On the other side, you can convert it into formula units. What can you convert it into? Formula units. Formula units is the smallest particle like atoms for an element. Are you with me? All right? So what is the number that goes before mole? Always. 1. Christina, are we writing this down? The number before mole is 1. Where do we get the number before grams from? From the elements from the periodic table. Where do we get, what is the number before atoms? What was that number? 6.02 times 10 to the 23, which is going to remain the same before formula units. We can go from grams to moles and moles to grams directly. Is that right? But can we go from grams to formula units straight? No, we have to convert it to moles. Are we good? I'm going to do 1 or 2 problems and I expect you to do the remaining. All right? So it says, what am I given? I'm given the moles. What am I asked to convert into? Into grams. Are we good? Now, in order to convert to grams, whenever they say grams, you will need the formula of the compound. Are you with me? So let's look at magnesium nitride. What is the charge on magnesium? Plus 2. Nitrogen is a negative 3. So how will I balance them? Multiply this side by 3, that side by 2. What is my formula for magnesium nitride? Mg3N2. Is everybody comfortable with that? Yes. About, I multiplied, right? 2 times 3, 3 times 2. Everybody got that? Okay. Now I'm going to set up my fracts. I have 2.5 moles of magnesium nitride. Are you with me? What will I cancel out of? Moles of magnesium nitride. Is that right? moles of magnesium nitride. Are we good? What am I converting it into? Converting it into grams of magnesium nitride. What is my number before mole? 1. What is my number before grams? Where do I get that from? From the periodic table. Now this is a compound. Magnesium nitride is a compound. So what do I need to find? Its molar mass. So I'm going to do that on the side. There are 3 magnesiums. There are 2 nitrogens. What is my next step? Get the mass of each off of the periodic table. That's going to be 24.31. That's going to be 14.01. Is that right? What is my next step? I multiply. Yes? And then I add. Can somebody tell me what is the mass of magnesium nitride add up to become? You know how to do this. What is the final mass? I'm waiting for someone else to give me the answer. Somebody from this side of the table. Are you all listening? Someone from this side of the classroom. Tell me what is the mass of magnesium nitride. I'm waiting to hear from one of you. What is the mass? Not Baluham, not the same students again and again. Kareem, do you have a mass? Almost done, all right. Is everybody getting 100.95? 100.95. Can somebody tell me what should I do next? What should I do next? Can somebody else? Kyle, what should I do next after this? There are numbers in the numerator and there's a number in the denominator. What do I do? Divide. What about this number and this number, Kyle? Multiply. So I'm going to multiply 2.5 times 100.95 divided by 1. What is the answer? And I have to report to 2 significant figures. What is my final answer? 2 significant figures. Did you multiply it? What did you get, Kyle? What is your calculator answer?
252.375.
252.375. 375. All right? So now, I need only 2 significant figures. How am I going to round 252 to 2 significant figures? How do I round it? As Nancy? You saying something? You tried to say something. Come on. Very good. 250, but without a decimal point. That makes it how many significant figures? 2, no decimal point. Grams of Mg3N2. Are we good? Do we understand this problem? Are we good? I think I got mad at kids. Kids are not mad at me, Ms. Meyer. They're all glaring at me. Okay. Let's skip this and let's do the last problem. I'm going to do the very last problem. What is the charge on lithium? Lithium is a +1. Carbon is a what? ±4. We are going to take the -4. So which side should I multiply? Lithium by 4. So what is my formula for lithium carbide? Li4C. Are we good? What is given to me? 9.01 times 10 to the 22 in formula units. Is that right? What am I going to convert it into? Grams. Can I go from formula units to grams straight away?
Yeah.
What should I convert my formula units first into?
Moles.
And then moles into grams. Are we all good with that? Okay. So I have 9.01 times 10 to the 22. FUs is an abbreviation for formula units of calcium carbide. Are we good? Are we good? Okay? What should I convert my formula units first into? What should I convert it first into? Moles. And so what will I cancel out of first? Formula units of lithium carbide. What is my number before mole? 1. What is my number before formula units? 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Is that correct? So I cancel out of formula units. What should I finally convert moles into? Grams. And what do I cancel out of? Moles. What is my number before mole? 1. How should I get my number before grams from? From the periodic table. How many lithium atoms are there? How many carbon? 1. What is the mass of one lithium off of the periodic table? 6.94, and carbon is 12.01. So if I multiply, what do I get? Did I do this right? Are you getting the same answer that I am? Is it 39.77? Is that right? Okay, where do I substitute this number? In the grams. So I substitute this number 39.77 here. Are you with me? So what is my math now? My math is 9.01 times 10 to the 22 times 1 times 39.77 divided by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. What is your final answer? What is your final answer? Anybody in class? What is your final answer? You know how to put the E function in. What is your final answer? What did you get, Nancy? So this is grams, and it's like 3 significant figures. Are you getting 5.95? 5.95 grams of Li4C. Is that right? Are we good? So I am done teaching for today. All right? I need you to practice now. So